Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am the Caffeinated Crafter, and today I am going to be talking to you about my plans for Stitch Mania. Alright, so I went back and forth a lot about what I wanted to do. When I discovered what Maynia was, I was like super excited, and because I was like, oh, new starts, I love starting things. So I saw all the things about people doing like a new start every single day for the whole month. It's like 31 starts. That sounds like a great idea. I should do 31 starts. Then I thought about it. And then I really was planning on doing 31 starts. I pulled every single kit I had, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do this one, I'm gonna do this one, I'm gonna do this one. And pulled patterns. I had some fabric. I don't have a plethora of fabric. And but I was just like, okay, you know, I'm gonna do all these new starts. And I was just throwing fabric with patterns I had, seeing if I had the colors and blah 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 blah. And then I kind of sat back and I thought about it for a little bit. And I'm like, what am I doing? That's stupid of me to try to do 31 starts on kits that I wasn't really into right now. Like when I bought them, I was like, oh, these are cute. But kits that I wasn't really into right now, I know I'm gonna stitch like 10 stitches and I'm like, I'm done with this mess. And I had fabric with patterns. And I went back and looked, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I was just doing it because I had this fabric and it fit this pattern. And no, that's not what I want to do. So then I rethought it, and I was like, well, maybe I just shouldn't do Maynia. And I was like, no, I really want to participate in Maynia. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll be like some of these other people and I'll work on my whips. No, I couldn't figure. And then I finally decided I'm going to do 5 new starts, 1 new start a week, because of the way that the month falls. May 1st was yesterday, today's May 2nd. May 1st was Friday, which was yesterday, and there's 5 Fridays in the month. Yeah, 5 Fridays in the month, so that means I can do 5 new starts. Now granted, I think the last one, oh, I didn't flip my calendar. I think the last Friday will carry over into June. That's okay though. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like my pattern's not just gonna disappear, you know, on June 1st. So I picked out 5 new starts, and then I know how I am. Sometimes I get bored after a few days with the pattern. That's why I have so many whips. So I have my backup whip, which is Be Still. If I remember, I will put in a color photo. One of my subscribers oh so lovingly reminded me after I posted my last Flosstube that I did not include any photos, which, you know, was totally my fault, because I edited the video and I included the photos, but I'm running out of room on my storage, so it didn't save that video. So when I was in a rush, I uploaded the wrong video. I uploaded the original that had no pictures. So if I remember, if you don't see any pictures, that's why, because I forgot. But anyway, here's a black and white picture of my whip. This is my lifetime project. So this is Be Still. This is from thecrossstitchstudio.com, and it's huge. I'm almost done with page 1. Yeah, I'm almost done with page 1. It's page 1 of 144 pages. That's what, I keep all the excess fabric in the chair next to me. That's why it's so close. Anyway, so this is going to be my whip in case I run out of steam on some of my projects. So I'm going to do 3 kits that I already had, and 2 stitch alongs that I have not, one has not started yet. One has been in progress for a while now, but I have not started it. I've just been admiring from afar and I keep talking about it. Okay, so let me see. The first one, so I'm going to start with the one that I've already started, my new start for the week, which started yesterday. This is Whole Lotta Latte. I've shown you guys this one, I think, in my last Flosstube because I thought it was super cute. This is a Dimensions kit, and it is being stitched on 14 count black Aida. I believe that I got this at Hobby Lobby. I'm not entirely certain because I've owned it for a while. I'm just happy it's not full coverage because I tend to do that. So that's where I'm at. This is, I did a center start, sort of a center start. I mean, the center was like right in the middle of the teacups, which is like right here. So this is the saucer of this cup, nope, of this cup right here. I'm right there. So what I really love about this one, not the black Aida stitching. Yeah, I don't like stitching on the black. However, it does make these colors pop like nobody's business. So that I am excited about. That's why I like stitching on the black. That is the only reason I'm enjoying it, is because it really makes those colors pop. And I'm really excited to see how this one starts coming along. Yeah. So that was start number 1. Let me get all this back in. And basically well, I'll go over those in a different, I'll go over that in a different video. I was going to tell you guys how I'm like doing it, but that's for another video. This is for my plans for Maynia. Sorry, just getting everything back in the bag. I don't want to confuse myself later like I did one time. I just pulled everything out and I left it out and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, what goes where? So there's that. You like my project bag? It's designer. It's a brand name made by Ziploc. I can even write the name of the project right there so I don't confuse it with my other project bags. Okay, so, all right, so my next one that I'm going to go over is one of the stitch-alongs. It's the Harry Potter Choose Your Own Adventure Cunning Crust. Oh, God, I can't even remember. Stuart Cunningham created the pattern. It's free. It's a stitch-along. He released the first pattern back in September. The first part, it was the frame, and it's got the castle and the owls and, you know, the train and the chapter parchments. And then, and I've talked about it multiple times about how I want to do it. And originally I was like talking about, oh, I'm not modifying anything, blah, blah, you know. Then I started seeing the modifications and I'm like, I want to modify everything. Anyway. So I have my fabric. And I've been wanting to start it, and every time a new chapter gets released, I like get more and more excited about it. And my kids are seeing it, and they're seeing like on Facebook. I'm like, oh, boys, look! You know, I show them the pictures, and they're like, oh my God, we want one too. So now each of my kids, even though they're not really, well, they're into Harry Potter, but not really into Harry Potter. So I don't know. Anyway, they each want one. They're not going to be Maynia starts for me. There's no way. So I just picked up some like ivory Aida to do. But mine, I'm stitching on, for theirs, I'm going to do 16 count ivory Aida. I'm looking to see if I can match the squares between theirs and mine because I don't remember the count. I think mine's a 16 count too. I coffee dyed this fabric. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Maybe if I hold it back a little bit, it's like a brown because I coffee dyed it. Yeah. It's really hard to, which, you know, I'm sure anybody who's tried to show fabric in a video can understand. Because I think it's coming, I think it's actually darker than what this is making it out to be. I would say, okay, so for anyone who drinks coffee, this is probably like a light tan, like with the coffee with the creamer, like the light tan, medium blonde with the creamer, you know what I mean? That's, I would say that's what color this is. So that's what I'm gonna stitch mine on. So I'll start that one. So the latte was my first week start. This will be either week number 2, like this coming Friday will be week number 2. This will be either week number 2 or week number 3. It depends on when, my next one I'm about to go over, depends on when the first pattern gets dropped for this other stitch along that I'm gonna do, which is Stitch. It's my first year. So that's gonna, Stitch is going to be my third new start because it starts this month. But if it gets released before Friday, then I'm gonna start that. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna wait till the next Friday. So this is my first time doing Stitch along, which she renamed it Stitch along. So I'm super excited. And she went ahead and I guess it's normally like a mystery sale. And she went ahead and showed us what it was going to be. She said something about how, you know, everyone's like all stressed out and everything with all the quarantine and stuff, so she didn't want to stress us out anymore. So it's a smaller pattern, and she showed us what it's going to. She said it's just going to be a stitch along. It's not going to be a mystery stitch along. And it's a picture of house, of his face, and it says bless this house, and it's got a border. If I remember, I will insert a picture next to me of what it's going to look like. That's if you do it in, it's monochromatic, so it's in different, she did hers in different shades of gray, but she said you guys can do whatever color you want, like, you know, if you want to do it in blue or green or red or whatever, just you need to pick 6 colors, and it needs to be really, really light to really, really dark. So I had picked out a few different palettes. I had picked out, let me show you the 4 that I ended up wanting to do. So orange, pink, green, and purple. So, all right, now, while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna put this one back where I had it before, because I pulled that out so I could show you guys. I'll put it back where I had it real quick in my Be Still box before I forget, and then I freak out because I'm like, where'd that color go? So I had those 4 laid out, took a picture, and I posted it on the Facebook group. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't decide which one to do, right? And so I was like, which one do you guys think I should do? And, you know, people were picking different colors. First, everyone was like purple, 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 which I was happy about because I'm like, oh, I am kind of leaning towards purple. Then a few people said orange, and then someone said pink, and I'm like, God, you know, because every time somebody voted, I'm like, oh yeah, that is a good one. That is a good one. And then somebody else said all of them. I'm like, oh, ha ha. And then I started sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because originally I only had 3 colors. I had purple, pink, and orange. And then when somebody said all of them, I'm like, oh yeah, I could do 1 in each one. And then I was like, wait a minute. If I pick a 4th color, I could make it like an Andy Warhol kind of thing. So So I picked the green one because I'm like, oh, green, you know, I really like the green too. So then I did all 4 colors, laid them out, and then I updated my post, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, hold up, what do y'all think of this idea? And everyone freaking loved it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with that. So I'm gonna have 4 house heads. Bless this house, bless this house. So it's basically gonna be, you know, 4 of the pattern all on one piece of fabric. I'm thinking that somebody else was like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool is if you dyed each piece of the fabric to match the thing, but I'm like, that is a lot. I had a blue even weave. I had 2 different shades of blue even weave, like a light blue and a dark blue, darker, like, well, not dark blue, but like a light sky blue and a medium sky blue that I was like, that I had last night, and I went to the store today. And I just got some regular fabric. I think I'm just gonna do it on a neutral fabric and kind of call it a day. And just because I'm already doing enough doing this pattern 4 times in 4 different colors. And I have to math because I gotta make sure I get the borders like lined up so that they don't overlap and stuff. Because I want them to meet. I don't want them to mesh. I just want them to meet. I want to try to not, I want the corners to meet. So I don't really, because I think the corners would come together. I think the sides of the border will have space. So I want the corners to meet. So I got to plan that one out good. Fingers crossed that when M releases the first pattern, part of the pattern, that the corners of the border will be in it. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so that's going to be either number 2 or number 3, depending on when she releases the first part of the pattern. Start number 4. Start number 4 is going to be Happy Everything. This is another kit that I picked up many moons ago. It is going to be stitched on, well, let me show you the picture real quick. I really liked it because it basically includes all the holidays. The only one it didn't really include was like 4th of July, which at first I was like, well, why isn't 4th of July included? And then I was like, oh, well, if you're not in America, then sorry, I got a message. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. But anyway, at first I was like, well, why wouldn't they include 4th of July? And then I was like, oh, well, if you're not in America, then, you know, you wouldn't want 4th of July on there because that's an American holiday. But then I saw there's Thanksgiving turkey in the American Thanksgiving month part. Like, Canada has Thanksgiving, but theirs is in October. Ours is in November. And the turkey is after the Halloween stuff, which is at the last day of October. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this is a kit I picked up many moons ago from Hobby Lobby. Let me show you the fabric first. 14 count fiddler light. I think it's called like fiddler's cloth or something like that. I don't know. But I really like this. It's like a neutral, well, I don't really know how to describe it. And then it's got like, you know, darker lines going through it. And then this will be the floss that goes with it. So I really like it because it's got, starting with the H, it's got winter stuff like, you know, snowman, snowflakes. Then as you progress, it goes into Valentine's Day. There's little hearts for Valentine's Day. I'm trying to like look at it and show you at the same time. Hearts for Valentine's Day. It's got springtime stuff like a kite and flowers. There's a 4-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day. And then a bunny and a basket of eggs for Easter. And then there's flowers and stuff for like spring. Little garden here. Then there's a beach scene as we get into summertime. Like I said, they could have put a little flag or something right there. I don't know why they didn't. So anyway, beach scene, and then you get into the fall. So you got a little schoolhouse with 1+1 on here, and then an apple tree, and then as we get into, and there's some fall leaves here, and then there's pumpkins and a black cat and a ghost for Halloween. Oh, and I think there's a little crescent moon there. And then, like I said, Thanksgiving turkey, and then an angel and a Santa Claus at the very end. So I thought that was really cute. And I think that I did one similar a few years ago. That was like, it was kind of Thanksgiving themed. I don't think I have the pattern. I think my mom, I gave it to my mother when I was done. And she got it framed and she hangs it up every fall in her house. And it was, so it was something similar to this, but it was like fall related. And it was like, oh, what was it? I don't remember now, but it was like it was fall related. I don't think it said give thanks. It was like one of those live, laugh, love kind of things. I don't remember now. Anyway, but it was like this, and it stitched up pretty quick. So I've got high hopes for finishing this one. Plus it's got little motifs on here. I think that's what they're called. And that will help me get that sense of accomplishment. Like, oh look, I did this, I did this. Because I've noticed I tend to finish the ones that have like things, you know, like those alphabet samplers. I tend to, that are like, you know, one thing per letter, you know, I tend to finish things like that because I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm done with this. And then I feel like the next piece is like a new start almost. Anyway, so that will be number 4. And then my last one, I will say that I am a little bit nervous about, only because I started a long time ago, I started another project from this company. This is, and it's not really, it wasn't really quite turning out how the picture showed because the colors were off. So I am a little nervous about this one. This is The Little Mermaid, the Disney Dreams collection. It was a piece, the art was from Thomas Kincaid. This is from MCG Textiles. I don't think that these are available anymore. I've never seen them since the year or two after I purchased it. I had this one, and I have the Beauty and the Beast one. They also had a few others, like a Fantasia one and something else. And I picked this one up because it had gone on clearance. And after starting Beauty and the Beast, I kind of saw why, because from what I've read, their quality is not really that great with their, so I am a little nervous about, but I do really love this picture. So I'm hoping that I will be able to tell pretty quickly if it's going to work out or not with this fabric, with this thread. This is all the thread. I can't even hold it all up. This is all the thread. It's on three cards. And it's stitched on 18 count Aida. This is just a general, oh, DoorDash is trying to get me to order food. It's 18 count, like, I think this is like an ivory Aida, because it's a full coverage. So, and I'm not really sure how big it's going to be. Oh, finished size 16 inches by 12 inches. I mean, obviously I can see that, but it doesn't tell me stitch wise how big it is. So what my problem was with the Beauty and the Beast one, which I'll show you guys in a separate video, like a different video. But my problem with the Beauty and the Beast one was I had started in the middle, and sometimes I do this to try to help keep me focused on a project. I started in the middle, and then I was like, oh, let me work my way to the end. And then I worked my way up to the corner, and then I started filling in, right? Well, then I looked at my stitching compared to the picture, and the colors were completely different. Like in the corner of the Beauty of the Sky in the picture, it was blues and yellows. And in my stitching, it was pinks and purples. And I triple checked the symbols compared to my thread. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is it so different? I don't get it, right? So I'm thinking that I'm going to try to work this so I can tell pretty quickly if the colors are going to match up or not. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. If it looks like it's not going to match up at all, I may keep the pattern and try to just get my own floss and do it that way, because I mean, it really is pretty. It really is very pretty. I might even do that with the Beauty and the Beast one, because I mean, look at this. Look at that. This is one of my, Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid were like two of my favorite movies growing up. Two of my favorites. And I really love this. I really, really love it. So if it looks like this will be my last Maynia start. And if I'm going to start it. And if it looks like the colors aren't matching up, I'm going to stop and I'll figure out what to do from there. So anyway, so that is all for my Maynia starts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you are going to participate in Maynia, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your plan is. Are you going to do 15 starts? Are you going to do 20? Or are you going to do 31? Are you just going to work on one project? Are you going to do one a week? Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.